Ever had this happen? That's right, it just died. Join me on my adventure as we look into this. Basically, there's a relay up under here that you can't really get to. It's soldered in and not serviceable, but it's going bad. And so seems this is a common problem, and the fix is to replace this entire thing. Unfortunately, that's very expensive, like over $1,000 to buy a new one. I saw some rebuilt ones for like $400, or you could maybe go to a salvage yard route and get a used one that's not been rebuilt and roll the dice that it may or may not fit, may not work for a couple hundred. And there's also some other fixes out there, which is what we're going to do for the time being. Somebody figured out that if you put a wire from here to right here, that somehow it bypasses that relay, so you're still getting power to the pump. And when you do that, it works reliably, and it's a good fix. So I haven't bought the part yet. I'm just going to put some wire in there for the time being, and then we can get the parts in if it's reliable, and I may not even have to use that relay. First things first, I'm going to take the battery, unplug the battery, and since I'm in the electrical box, and then I'm going to start pulling fuses and put that wire in there. Okay, so I got my little jumper wire here, stripped both ends. This is just a little 14 gauge wire that I had laying around. Okay, so we have the fuses out. We got this one out and this one out. And so this is, I forgot to explain, this is the accessory, the back rear accessory plug-in. And so when it's in this slot over here, that means it's only on when the power's on. When it's over here, you get power all the time. So we're going to still keep it over there. And the other thing we want to do is when we want to put that wire in there, we want to wind it tight enough that we don't get any random wires to short out anything on either one. Alright, so there we have it. It's in there. I just kind of stuffed them in there. And I'm just going to route this a little bit. Clean that up a little bit, just to make it look a little better. Well, probably doesn't really matter, does it? But I guess I'll route it after I put the fuses back in. I've heard the fuses are difficult to get back in afterwards, which I would imagine so, because you got 14 gauge wire sitting in there. So I'm going to do that off camera so I can use both hands. Okay, so some trial and error there. You kind of have to put the fuse in with the wire at the same time and kind of just all push it down together, and it's still going to be a little cattywampus like that, you know, but like I said, this is just a temp fix to try to make it a little more reliable until we can get the right stuff in there. So let's get this other one done, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Hopefully the camera is focusing. You can kind of see it, how I'm pushing it in. And there it is in. Again, probably should have cut it a little shorter, but it's alright, I guess, as is. So I guess the test now is to A, make sure we've got continuity, and then B, to see if it works. So I guess I need to hook it all back together again. Alright, so I cleaned it up a little bit just to make it look a little cleaner, and to shorten that wire up and then put it all back in. .6 volts, 0 volts, 0 volts, 0 volts, 12.6, 12.6, 12.6, 12.6. That's what we wanted to see. we're about to crank it up and see what happens. All right, moment of truth. I've not started this up yet, so we will see if it works or not. Look like it worked. Let's do it a few more times, make sure. Looks like it. So I don't know how long I'll keep it like that, but for the time being, hopefully that will make it a little more reliable. And yeah, and so until we can get the other parts in here and all that good stuff. So make sure to hit that subscribe and like button below. Leave any comments, suggestions, all that good stuff. And I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take care. It's time for supper.